Welcome back to the Grand Slam channel. Today is Wednesday, December 25th. Merry Christmas to you all. Yesterday it was a light day for sports. There was no tacos. I believe the tacos will be rolled over into today. If you're on my Discord, we did put out two slips. One of them is in progress with the esports. The other one was the only college football game that we have. We cashed that. We ended up going 3 or 4. For being the only slip of the day, it was completely no sports. But now we have a full slate for Christmas Day. We got 5 NBA games and we got 2 NFL games. I'll have 5 props for each. There is a lot of good value right now as far as NBA. I am doing this video overnight, which is already Wednesday morning. Most of my slips are already posted on my Discord and they're all on Sleeper. I did post my 2-man for that free square with the Jokic square. Reminder, it expires today. I did post that on my Twitter and Instagram if you guys do follow me there. But let's get started. Let's head on over to NFL. And we have the Texans versus the Ravens. Money line, I am taking the Ravens. Should be a good game. I'm expecting 2 good games on slate today. We also have the Steelers and Chiefs. Both of them are playoff bound. Same thing with the Texans and Ravens. I believe the Texans are close to clinching. But hopefully we don't have any blowouts. It should be 2 competitive games. So you can pretty much target Lamar Jackson. Passing yards, rushing yards, and fantasy score, they're all in play. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes. You can never go wrong with Patrick Mahomes. Passing yards, fantasy score are all in play. Personally, I do have Patrick Mahomes' first half fantasy score. He is a quick starter and he is at an even 10. Overall, I believe he is under 20. I believe 17, 17.5 as a full game prop. I'm going to be taking his first half fantasy score at 10. I think he'll get bumped to 10.5. Getting some pretty good value. It should be at 11, 11.5 to be honest for the first half. But for Patrick Mahomes, that is the first leg I'll be taking on this slip. Next one is Noah. Last time I took him, he did sell. I expect him to bounce back. And for him, receiving yards is in play. Fantasy score is what I'm going to be targeting at 4.5. He scored a 2 last time we took him. I expect him to bounce back and be somewhere where it usually ended 8 to 10 range as far as fantasy score. He should get more than 2 receptions. Receiving yards, I believe 18.5 and 19.5, they're both the same value. Obviously, take the 18.5. I have him going over 25 yards. So his Demons is actually in play, both of them, 24 and 29. But for now, I'm going to be taking his fantasy score. Next leg is Pat. Be taking a Steeler, one of the top tight ends in the league. Be taking Pat for receiving yards is in play, but I personally like his fantasy score, which is at 8. He could get in the end zone. I do have him getting in the end zone. Usually for this type of game, it's going to be competitive, should be defensive. So I think Russell Wilson should throw a couple short passes to him in the end zone. And Pat should get in the end zone. He should go over 30 yards as well. Probably have 3 to 5 receptions. He should cash his fantasy score. If he scores a touchdown, that's pretty much cashed. But I do have Pat fantasy score, but you can target pretty much anything else, especially the gobbies for him. But his regular line at 31.5 is excellent value. Daily Grind Fantasy does have it at 53% hit rate to go over. Next one I'll be going on is George Pickens, another favorite target of Russell Wilson. Between him and Pat, they pretty much lead the offense for Russell Wilson. George Pickens, 64.5. I definitely like that line. I believe he can get it lower on Sleeper and Underdog. I also like his receptions, which is at 4.5. I have him projected to get 5. So that's also in play. You can take his Gabi at 3.5 and play it safe. And fantasy score is in play as well. But I do like his receiving yards. I do have him projected to get about 75 yards. Next one, I'll be targeting a Texan. I believe Tank Dell is out of the lineup. So Mixon will be in play. I believe he'll get plenty of play. For Mixon, there's a couple options for him. For a running back, he does get quite a bit of receptions. So I'm going to be targeting his rush and receiving yards. His receptions at 3 is not bad, but I think that's going to push. His receiving yards at 21.5. It's been bumped. I believe 2 days ago it was at 17.5. It's all the way to 21.5. So they're expecting a big game for him, especially with the news that Tank Dell is out. So for Joe Mixon, rushing receiving yards will probably be my favorite, followed by his fantasy score. It's a little bit inflated, but for rushing receiving yards, I think you can catch that on rushing yards alone. And those are the top 5 I'm going to be rolling with, and that's the only Texan that I like on the slate. I'm going to focus mostly on that Chiefs and Steelers game, which should be a good game. Both of them should be actually good, but I do have the Ravens pretty much beating the Texans. For that one, you can target Lamar Jackson. I forgot to mention about the Ravens, but Lamar Jackson should lead the offense. I believe you can get Derrick Henry. He does have a discount on Sleeper, but right now on PrizePicks, his line is way too inflated. But for Lamar Jackson, everything is in play. Fantasy score and passing yards are probably my favorite, especially his 174 Gabi, and he has a 199.5 Gabi as well. I do have him going just over 200 yards. He should clear his original line at 218. But if you want to play it safe, 199.5 is the best Gabi for him. Let's head on over to NBA. And for first one I'm going to be going with is Klay Thompson. Now we got plenty of other better options on the slate, but for Klay Thompson, I expect him to have a bounce back game. I did take him on Sleeper for 9.5. His points, you can get it at even 10 over there on Sleeper. Pretty good, decent payout. But for PrizePicks, points, PRA are in play. Obviously, fantasy scores are not posted yet, but I think fantasy score should be in play for Klay Thompson as well. Points, PRA, or fantasy score once it gets posted. I took Klay Thompson on Sleeper at 10 points. You can lower the line but still get a decent payout. Next one is Watson, another key role player for the Nuggets. I'm hoping if he gets 20 minutes, he should cash every single prop he has posted. Rebounds is my favorite prop, and be taking that as well as his rebounds and assists. Those are my top 2 plays for Peyton Watson. Taking mostly key role players, we do have a lot of the studs of the respective teams questionable. I believe Tatum is questionable, Luka is questionable, Anthony Davis and LeBron James are questionable. As far as for the Phoenix Suns, I believe Booker is out. Devin Booker is out. So it's going to rely a lot on Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant, which brings me to my next leg, and that is Kevin Durant. Everything's in play right now. As you can see, his points is all the way to 31 with the news of Booker out. Usually his line's at 26 or 28, so it's all the way up to 31. For Kevin Durant, personally, I like his rebounds and assists. It did get bumped, unfortunately. This was at 10.5, and then it got, right before this video started, there was at 11. Now it's all the way to 11.5. I believe you can take him on Sleeper and lower the line for him over there. But for Kevin Durant, be taking his 42.5 or his fantasy score. You can lower it on Sleeper for a pretty decent payout to 40, or you can take his rebounds. You can lower the line at 6. Right now, Daily Grind Fantasy does have his rebounds going under at 6.5, but you can get them at 6 on Sleeper while lowering the line, but still get a decent payout. Next leg is Karl Anthony Towns, and you got 2 options for him. Obviously, I'm waiting for his fantasy score, PRA, and his assist, which is probably the most popular play right now. Fortunately, I like it at 3.5. I have him projected to get 4. So at 3.5, either this is going to be taken off the board or it's going to get bumped to 4. You can play it safe and take his Gabi at 2.5, but I like his original line at 3.5. PRA is also in play, but assist, definitely be taking that on my slip. I believe I already took it on Sleeper, which is the same value as PrizePicks. Next one for Still waiting news on Luca. Julian Champagne, I did take him on Sleeper. You can get him at 12.5 right now, so you're getting better value on Sleeper. But I do like Julian today. 13.5, you can get a discount on Sleeper at 12.5. Hopefully you guys get this before the bump. Victor Wembanyama is my next one. For Victor, I do like his PRA, but for some reason I am going to be taking his blocks, but on Sleeper, which you can get it at 3.5. Not sure if PrizePicks has it. It should be at 3.5 blocks. And they do have it on PrizePicks at 3.5. I definitely like that prop. I have him projected to get 4 or 5 against the Knicks. So this is a good prop if you don't want to take his PRA. But I'll be taking his blocks. Blocks and steals is not posted on PrizePicks. I don't think Sleeper has it right now either. But his blocks at 3.5, definitely like it's going to get bumped to 4, if not to 4.5. Points, I do have him might regress at 25 points. I mean, he's been scoring like a madman the past couple of games. But the Knicks should play some good defense on him. But I think Victor should get his 4 blocks, if not more. And for LeBron James, he's also questionable. But for LeBron, I do like his points. But I'm going to stay away from these players as far as for now. Obviously, I want to target LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Luka, Tatum, but they're all questionable. So I'm going to go with these 5 players that will be carrying the load for them. Klay Thompson, Peyton Watson, key role player for the Nuggets. I know we've been focusing on Christian Braun, but Peyton Watson's minutes have gone up. We got Kevin Durant, Towns, and Victor Wembanyama. I believe one more I like to mention, and that is on the rebounds and assists. And that is, you can go either Harrison Barnes at 3.5. Kyrie Irving's also in play at 8.5. With Luka out, he should cash all his props. Is Jaden McDaniels. This is one I did take him a couple days. He did sell. I expect him to bounce back. That was actually the last game against the Hawks, which I did take him. He did sold, but as you can see, he's been averaging 8 rebounds and assists per game, and that's with limited minutes. If he goes back to his original minutes, he should easily cash his line of 5.5. You can get that on rebounds alone. So this might be a sneaky play. I expect him to bounce back as well. These are the 5-6 props that I like for NBA. So definitely mix and match with the NFL ones. You can always play it safe and take the gobbies. Other than that, mix and match. Pick your favorite. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Appreciate the support. Hope you all have a great, happy holidays. Hopefully we cash after a day of pretty much rest. See you guys in the next one.